the film look, and the relentless pursuit of it. The desire to make our photos look like vintage film has made us photographers go down the deepest of rabbit holes, starting from searching new presets to buying vintage lenses, so on and so forth. In this video, we're going to look at a few tips on how you can make your digital files to look like film. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly as film because both are totally different processes, but we'll try to emulate the vibe and the colors and the mood of film in our digital files. So let's jump into Lightroom and see how we can achieve that. First is to adjusting your curves and lifting your blacks. So to get that faded film look, all you need to do is to raise the black point a little bit until it crushes the blacks in your images. So that will give you that faded look in your digital files. But try to do it with moderation. Don't go overboard with this. Sometimes I don't even use it depending on the look that I'm trying to achieve. The second tip would be to pay close attention to the hues of your greens. The greens in film images tend to lean a little bit towards cyan. So to achieve the same look in digital files, go to the HSL slider and in the hue section, try to shift your greens a little bit towards the cyan. Here also you need to do it very carefully. Don't do too much. Subtlety is the key here. White balance. Although it should be first, but here we are not going to use white balance just to adjust our temperature. We're going to look it through the film perspective. Film is either daylight balance or tungsten. So depending on the time that you are trying to replicate in your photos, you can choose either of them to adjust the correct white balance to your taste. Next will be split toning. So film has a tendency to add different hues to its highlights and shadows. So for example, in this picture, I'm trying to introduce a little bit warmth in the highlights by introducing a little bit more orangish yellow color. So as you can see, I have chosen a hue around 50 and I have kept the saturation around 8 to 10. And in shadows, I have tried to introduce some bluish hue. And also I have kept the saturation to around 8. Here I've also tried to add a little bit more warmth by using the midtones as well. Play around with the hue and saturation sliders and you can come up with different split toning effects. Last but not the least would be to add a little bit grain to your images. Whenever I add grains to my images, I go a little bit wild. So here I've chosen a fairly strong effect. So here you can see I have chosen an amount near about 40. The grain size is about 50 and the roughness I've chosen to be at 60. You can also choose your desired settings here. I'm going a little bit strong. Obviously, following these rules won't make your images to look exactly like film, but it will get you closer. As digital and film photography are two totally different mediums, film stills have emulsion with crystals embedded in them which react when you expose them to light, and digital files are ones and zeros. But call it nostalgia or the love for analog film photography, we are still craving those colors. So there you go. Now you have 5 useful tips to get your images look a little bit closer to film. I hope you have found this video to be informative. If so, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share them, and I'll see you all in another one.